So, we are back in the wonderful world of Godbound, uh, doing our best to make this city a lovely place before going out to all the other cities that are also out there.
Where we all make good decisions and nothing ever goes wrong.
Indeed. As you can hear, this time we are going to do some more anointing, and it's going to be Kerah leading the way here. With Mr. Bandos Easy coming along for the ride, I'm guessing, since he's
Well, as punishment for his crimes, as far as I can tell.
he hasn't done any crimes yet.
Oh, not yet. So, if we're going to be gods of justice and such, sort of preemptive punishment is probably a thing we should start pretending exists.
Oh dear. For those who are watching, and that's like maybe one person, on the left here we have Beatrix. You might remember her as someone who gave Kerah a flower yesterday.
Oh God, how has this happened? It's like the longest 24 to 48 hours ever.
Well, as you know how this happens. How it happens is there's always something that you guys want to do, and you don't want, like, same for when it's in Warhammer when you're running for us. Like, there's always something that we're doing, even to the point where, like, you perhaps should be resting or having a drink, or like time would be better to just pass. There's always something. So I'd like to go do this, and then we lead off on our
that's
own.
true.
Yeah, it's the main reason why this is happening is because none of you have taken a break. None of you.
Well, we don't need to. It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm providing the stuff that's there, but in many ways, this is an accurate representation of what it would be like to actually take over a city very suddenly.
Especially if you never had to sleep.
Yep. So, talking of not sleeping, the last time, the anointing that happened with Sade finished around midnight. So,
Okay.
did you want to do this after midnight, or did you want this to happen perhaps the next day in the morning?
Were we attending the anointing ceremony for Sade?
No, everyone's doing this by themselves. So you could be doing this around the same time, but Mr. Easy wouldn't be there.
I'm thinking probably the next day, if for no other reason than this feels like something that should be talked about with the recipient during the day.
Yes.
Not just, spending the couple hours traveling out to her farmhold and then in the dead of night being like, you, come here, I've got a blessing for you.
Though it doesn't seem entirely out of character for Kerah to just kind of show up in the middle of the night.
That's true.
So it is then a rather brisk autumn, I believe it was, that we were talking about. It was like autumn morning. Or was it spring?
I'm assuming you know best, but I could have sworn I've got spring
I think
somewhere
it was
in my
spring.
notes.
I keep doing that thing where I think it's like a season ahead of where we are, and we started a while back. So spring, and so it's not boiling. It's not like a summer heat, but it's got that kind of spring morning, the heat rolling in, the mildew from the night before still on the grass, as Easy is walking along in a rather fancy set of robes that he is currently holding, much like all the caricatures of like rich women in the countryside where they're clutching their petticoats and holding them up so they don't drag on the floor. So yeah, he's got a set of robes, and now that he's actually in a country environment, he's got them balled up and is like carrying them slightly so his ankles are on display. as he walks along, and he's just, "Are you sure? Are you sure that they're out here, all the way out here? The people that you want to bless?"
Kerah's just gonna give him a slow look, as if to say, "Dude, look at me," and say nothing.
I'm just saying that if they were, say, around more, or in the city, they would be more accessible to people. I explained it to Sade before of who you visit and who is important. It's who people see as important from your choices. They really matter, and no one's really going to see anything out here. Like, is there anyone out here?
Yes, these are the people who tend to the land. Of all people, they need my blessing.
Oh,
this isn't about appearances, Easy.
It's unfortunately, it's all generally about appearances, but I understand what you mean. It's yeah, sorry, I've spent so long trying to explain to Justice the importance of how she acts. It's rather sticky with me.
Hers is a role that needs something like that oversight. What I do, I try not to think about what the people will feel on that. Needless distraction.
I see. So he's a little concerned now. Like, have you thought about the process that you're going to go through?
She'll just cock her head at him slightly.
Oh, I mean, there has to be some kind of symbolism or ritual that needs to happen. It's not just showing up at the door and saying it's you and throwing them magical powers. In fact, they most likely will receive only a minor blessing at this current state.
Kerah will have a moment where she's thinking, "I was going to do exactly that." Okay.
It's rather, I don't think it would really transfer very well if you just threw it at them, so to speak.
I see. Well, you are the man who knows these things, and I suppose what you're saying does feel right. Very well. I think I know what we should do. I hope you're ready for another trek, Easy.
Whatever the new goddesses do demand, he says, hauling the clothes up a little higher. He's like, I'm not built for this.
With my blessing, Easy, I'm sure you'd find great capacity in yourself. In fact, actually, hell, I'm not doing anything of the effort. I'm happy to share one of the things of journey with him.
I think there is a thing of you can extend to him your journeying word, because it says those who travel with you.
Yes, it does actually. So I think that is just a function of the word.
Yes, I think he's just complains.
So she'll again stop and look at it. You're feeling tired.
It's like,
really?
Well, no, but it's tracking all the way out here. Like, I have, if I'm going to be this, I don't know what I am anymore. Like, high priest? I'm not a high priest, am I? I'm not good. I'm a theurgist. We can't be high priests. But like,
much as with the bard, you remind me of one of the shamans from my tribe. This good thing.
Okay, good. Yes, good. Yes, I'll accept that. Good. I'm an academic. I don't do well out here. There's bugs. There's strange.
You are a knower of things. These things exist in the world. It's good for you to expand your horizons of the things you know.
I deal with the gods, the high, the almighty, not the dirty. And he seems to take a pause and scrape his foot, and you wonder if he stepped off on something. It's like, at least he's not wearing barefoot, kind of things. It's all right. Let's just go to. So this person that you're going to go see.
Yes. Beatrix.
Beatrix. I. What is she to you? Like, what's the what?
She, I feel, has a great respect for the land and a memory for the older things. She's almost unconsciously reaching up to adjust the rose.
He does notice that and decides to not say anything about it. As he kind of like nods and like, well, I.
Of all people, she seems the most fitting, though we will know the truth when we speak to her.
Okay then. Yes. At the very least, let's keep on going. It's not actually far from here, where the
Yeah.
Beatrix's place. You can probably see it just through. It's not really wooded, but there's a bit of like thick hedges and bracken around here, so you can see the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my understanding is most of these hedgerows and things are property delineation.
Mm.
So yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely as well. It does rather help keep the bandits out when there's no like empty, the sides of the road can't just easily be run back and forth from.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's
I gotta be honest with you before we go on. What the hell is this? This was mentioned to me and it sounded cool, but I can't find anything like this in the book.
This
what's
is just
going
me.
on?
This is me.
What is this?
This is just me fucking around, basically.
Oh right, cool. Okay,
So
fair enough.
yeah,
cool.
so basically you're designating people who may be of importance to you, and
Oh yeah, I do get that.
Yeah.
I just thought this was a function of like the apotheosis word or something like that. I'm like, where is this? I can't see any of it.
One of the things that it could be extended into, you're not at the level for yet, but when you hit the level, it will become the level 6 apotheosis ability.
So this is a symbolic marker of future endeavors, kind of thing.
Yes, this is basically, well, this is your first city, and I'm guessing you'd want to mark a few people who are important. And when you hit level 6, I'm just gonna pull it up here so I can read it out to you. Artifice, apotheosis. Here we are. Mark of the Prophet. At 6th level, the Godbound can consecrate specific worshippers as favoured disciples or high priests. One disciple may be chosen for each level of the Godbound, but only one high pontiff can be chosen. If you've access to the deluxe version of Godbound, blah blah blah.
Which I actually do.
Yeah, the mortal creation rules. Disciples instantly become heroic mortals of a level equal to half the patron's level. Rounded up, and the high priest becomes a heroic mortal of the Godbound's level. Both usually take a reflective or talents reflective of the patron's portfolio, including a gift or two. If the mortal hero rules are unavailable, treat the disciple as skilled mages or major heroes. So, it basically this is you indicating someone in this city who you may wish to be either a high pontiff or like a disciple or like the higher group.
Okay, yeah, like I say, I'm totally on board. I was just trying to clarify whether there's a function here that I wasn't seeing. But good,
Yes.
Excellent, I'm glad.
So you could. I mean, that's the thing. When you can mark these people, which show their favor, and they would get a small blessing as like a roleplay thing, more than anything else. But you could then delegate whether you want them to be the High Pontiff or a disciple when you hit level 6.
I think I have an idea. I did mean to run this by you last time, but it just totally went out of my head.
Yep.
For reasons that I feel are fairly understandable.
Mm-hmm.
The last fact I picked up when we last leveled up, again, it's up to you how exactly this will work, but I just went for the hedge magic thing.
Yeah.
Just practitioner of hedge arts through the lens of prior shamanism kind of thing.
Yep, that's good with me.
Okay, I'm good, glad, because I'm thinking I could always make her the first of my order of shamans in that way.
That could definitely be an option. Yes. Um.
So yeah, what I'm planning then, if there's the ritual component of this, is we'll approach her, we'll see what she thinks. If she says no, fuck off, I've got onions to harvest, fair enough, I'll have to pick someone else. So yes, but once she or whoever is on board, I think we'll do some kind of ritual anointing in the swamp.
Okie doke. Okay.
That's where it should be.
Yeah.
That's important.
Well, you see your house. Well, you see her house. Sorry.
I mean, same diff soon enough.
I need to stop giving you like fantasy lesbians to marry, but
to be fair, the first time that was more me going, "This would work so well."
Yes.
This time it's kind of been forced on me. I gotta say, but I'm just rolling with it because hey, why not?
Hey, I just made someone who was nice, and you instantly was like, yes.
I was just being polite.
I was being polite as you said the words, I can never make a straight character.
That is totally immaterial.
But yes, anyway, like, I'm not forcing you into anything. It just, like, she was on the mind of the first person to mention. But yeah, so her house is quickly approaching, and as many farmers are, you see she is up early, and she is...
I do hope her lands are doing well.
Yes, she's tending to them at the moment.
Excellent.
In fact, there's a few workers around, because the crops have grown such abundance that she's had to hire a few people as to not, injure herself with the sheer girth of crops that you've granted her.
Troubling statement, but good.
Girth is applicable in this situation.
This is all you. All you.
But yeah, she she's a bit busy at the time, but she hears footsteps approaching and stands up and wipes her hands off on the front of her apron that she's wearing. That there's mud all over it, and here and there, and she just kind of looks up and notices the antlers first of all. Did you give her your name last time?
Yes, I did, because she had that thing about it.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Every so often someone does.
So,
which I am going to pull her up on this time, incidentally.
So Kerah, yes, and she grabs like a little basket and comes on over towards you. Oh, I wasn't even sure I'd ever see you again, she says, like, smiling in your direction.
Give a big smile at her and her lands. I see things are going very well here. Yes,
it's a miracle. Quite literally, everything's been growing so well. Even after we pull them from the ground, new plants grow in their place. It's incredible.
Yes, it is my gift from the land to the people, but it cannot be achieved without the people tending to it. After all, each part is just as important.
Oh yes, we've been.
What's Easy doing during all this?
Easy is standing back a little. He's letting you take the forefront on it, and he's kind of eyeing up the area. But you don't see, when you kind of had a feeling he was a little the countryside, but seeing like the big bunch of crops, he does seem actually quite drawn in by the sheer amount of them. He knows that this is a gift from you, kind of thing. So he's not talking, but he is there.
Okay, cool.
Beatrix is like, yes, I had to hire so many. There was the first day I tried to pull them all myself, and some of them were already going overripe by the time I was finished with the first lot. And I brought some of the boys in from the local farms, and like waves over her shoulder, and you see that they've all stopped and they're all staring in your direction, because
that's entirely fair.
Yeah, they don't seem scared, mostly because Beatrix is talking to you, and
so it begins.
Yeah.
Good, excellent.
It's one of those
My
things.
public image reimagining.
Yeah, it's like if you saw one of your friends talking to a 6 foot guy covered in tattoos, kind of thing. You wouldn't really go. They might be a bit scary, but hey, I know that guy, so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Beatrice, please, and she goes over and into her basket she's carrying, pulls out a rather large carrot, which is effectively as long as her forearm, and it's like, please, you must share in some of this bounty. You've been so grateful for it.
You're very kind to share, and Kerah will take a big old bite out of one.
Mm. And
And
she giggles a little as she,
Bandos,
yeah.
Bandos, partake of the bounty.
Bandos kind of takes a step forward. Oh, yes, I would rather love a. In the end, she shows the basket, which is overflowing, like cornucopian levels of
Yes.
resources, and
Oh, that's exactly what I was going for.
yep. And Bandos is like, "What is this?" And picks up. This is an onion. This is the size of my fist. This, like,
Beatrix, this is Dr. Bandos Easy. He is a man of knowledge.
he gives a small. Actually, he gives a small bow to her because he recognizes that this is the person that you wish to. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
and I'm a theurgist. He says, I study, and then he waves a little in your direction. I study the gods, and she's like, oh, it's lovely to meet you, Mister Bandos. Bandos easy, and like he bows again to her. Like, that's it.
Is there surprise there, or just that the
No,
word God is being mentioned?
she already thinks you're a god. So
Yes, I
yeah.
believe that was the case. I just wanted to see how she'd react to, someone else saying it.
If anything, she doesn't, blink. There's some murmuring in the background of some of the people over here, but like she is someone who is taking it in stride. This is what you are.
Good.
um,
Beatrix, I don't mean to disturb you when you're busy with the work of the land, but I do have something I wish to speak with you about.
oh, well, of course. If you, if it's some kind of repayment, I'll see what I can do. It's
Not so much that, no, repayment is not needed, though I suppose you could think of it that way, though you shouldn't. You were the first of the people here to call me a god.
I,
Why was that?
she pauses and then she kind of looks you up and down for a moment. Like, well, you you came here and you offered me help. It's been a difficult time with the with how things have been with the city. Taxes have been growing, and the crops have been not failing, but never quite as much as we've wanted. And well, I prayed, I suppose. I prayed a while ago, just to whoever might listen, that I would get some help. That I thought, I thought fates might throw me a trusty farmhand or an escaped horse might wander in one day and help me plough the fields. But no, you showed up, and you're the answer to my wishes. I couldn't see you as anything but a god.
I see. Obviously, as you've heard, Dr. Easy agrees. Things are developing in a way I hadn't expected or thought about, but this is where we are now. And from the way you speak, Beatrix, you take these matters seriously. You are concerned with the land and the people living in it, and what we can do to make things better for everyone.
Yes.
Is this the case?
Oh yes. All of the lads here, that it's worthless to be paid in money most of the times. That goes just to the church and the city, but we share. It comes from the land and it goes to us, and we tend the land in turn. I
Yes, this is how it should be. This is the way of things. You are a woman of vision. This I can tell. I wish to extend my blessing to you, if you'll let me.
I if if you think it's all right. She smiles a little and stands up a little bit
I
straighter.
can't think of anyone who's more deserving of receiving my blessing.
And she pauses, and like her cheeks are a little bit flushed as you say that, and like, thank
I
you.
won't lie to you that it will change things for you, especially as we move forward. I would not wish for you to make a decision that you'll come to regret, of course, so consider it very seriously before simply agreeing. As much as what we will do will enrich the land and benefit its people, there will be blood before this is over as well.
She does
Before
pause.
things can be put right, they must be cleared first.
She pauses a little bit and just, I, I do understand that to to create a healthy field, you pull the weeds. But are you asking me to hurt people for you?
Not yet, no. No. My concern for you is that your vision should be to the land and tending to it. But I won't lie to you that if you were to agree to this and receive the responsibilities and blessings it will give you, you might be needed to bloody your hands one day as well. I don't say this to revel in these things or to frighten you. I just say this to acknowledge the truth of what we're moving towards. You know these people in this church. You know they won't let this go.
She nods slowly at that. It's like, I do. And I suppose, I suppose that with the as you know anyone with the land out here, you must defend yourself. You know, there's a reason that
From those who would transgress on you, yes, this is how it should be.
from wild animal or person, I suppose there's always bandits, thieves, wolves. I
And I would like to give you the power to turn them aside yourself.
she's having a little bit of difficulty looking at you right now, and she's staring down at her hands, and she wipes them on her apron again. It's like, I suppose that no one is going to do it but ourselves. I shouldn't turn down a gift just because there may be difficult parts. We don't
Because one thing I've learned over the past few years is that no gift comes without some kind of repayment needed.
we don't slaughter pigs for the fun of it. We do it because we need to eat the meat.
Kerah nods and places a hand on her shoulder and say, "This is why I came to you."
If anything, Easy's looking a bit troubled by all this, but she nods.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's possibly the only sane man.
She does. She looks you square in the eye, which is something that someone's not been able to do for a while. And she looks at you and is like, "I hope you know that if you do ask something of me like that, I won't revel in it. I won't enjoy it, and I may have some difficulty living with myself if it is that bad. But in order to survive, we do many different things."
Understand that I won't ask anything of you for frivolous reasons. As I say, what we do because we need to.
Then it doesn't matter, does it? It's necessary. And out here, we do what's necessary.
Yes, yes, indeed. Then, then you will come with me to my swamp.
And she pauses and I'll need to get my waders on. Um, and she looks around at the boys like, all right, and claps her hands like, everything that you've got so far, put it in the shed. Everything you pick from here on, that's yours for the day. And there's a kind of a big cheer because there's still at least half a field left to go.
Mm-hmm.
But with there's so much that it's one of those things of the shed is almost overflowing already. So it's better that they pick it and go. And she nods and turns away slightly to go back to the house and is like, oh, should I bring anything? This seems like it's going to be important.
Bring what you feel you need to bring. That's for you to decide.
Okay. And she
So she goes and gets her shotgun.
yeah, she goes back into the house. And Easy kind of turns to you as he's going a bit heavy on her, aren't you?
I think she will take to this. I think she has the right mind for it. Wouldn't like to belittle her by lying about what might be involved. It would be doing us both a disservice.
I'm a bit more concerned that you think it's necessary for her to do that. You could probably find people who'd be willing to kill for you quite easily.
Indeed, indeed. Believe me, I intend to make her focus be the more important thing, the land itself. But considering what we've done so far and what we may need to do in the future, I think it would be a lie to say she might never be required to, don't you?
I.
Something you might want to consider yourself, Dr. Easy.
Oh. Um, all I'm saying is that
I'd like to imagine that Justice has done some really good public relations work, and here I am undoing it all.
Yeah, he does kind of. Then again, last thing Justice did was she was gathering an army. Bunch of guys showed up at the end of everything, and I suppose you lot
I'm
really
confident that my companion will protect us with her measures. I simply wish to tell those important to me what may happen. If all goes well, she will never so much as see a battlefront.
No, I understand. It's simply the fact that I'm so taken up sometimes with studying the gods in action that the idea that this may all lead to some kind of war does rather fade sometime. But
it's not something for us to take joy from, but you know these people as well. Do you see them simply backing off, letting us take our land back?
no, there's a reason that that man did such terrible things to himself. After all, they aren't going to back off.
A lack of reason, one might say, but yes. Yes.
It's
He understood necessity, that I will give him.
he lets out a little sigh and suits back his hair. It's like, I am looking forward to the future. Whatever we may be able to do for it.
To make the future, we need to focus on the now and do what we can. That's why we're here, after all.
True. Should I get some more vegetables for the way back? It seems like there's going to be more than enough.
Yes, of course. To take some for your people as well.
He goes.
She assumes he has people because everyone she ever knew in most of her life has at least a few people attached.
He heads off to the field as she comes back out. You notice that she's in it's basically waders. The kind of ones that rubber boots that go right up to your belly button.
Like fishing waders, I'm
Yeah.
imagining, basically.
So she's wearing fishing waders and a not a heavy overcoat because it's it is kind of springtime, but she's wearing something that to keep some of the worse off her body, and you catch as she's spraying herself with a little bit of some oil or something she's rubbing onto her skin as she goes in, and over her back there is there is, let's just say, a bundle of sticks that she's brought.
So Kerah will watch her for a little bit and look her up and down and say, "It's the oil to keep the insects away."
Yes, I've not had much dealing with it, but sometimes you get them around these parts. Things that bite. Horrible.
Wise. When we move forward, I will happily teach you several ways to make ointments to put them away yourself.
Oh, wonderful. I had to buy this stuff recently, but yes, no, it's wonderful to hear that.
The land will provide if you know where to look, and I will show you everything I know.
And she reaches out a hand and takes hold of yours, and I'm looking forward to that.
Oh dear. All right.
So yeah, after noticing that she's returned, Easy comes back to you, and he's got. You notice that he's got a little bag that he's got with him because it's that moment of, oh wait, I'm wearing robes, I don't have pockets. So he's got a little basket, and he nods slightly, and please lead the way.
Kerah leads the way.
Hmm.
I'm guessing it's a couple hours to the swamp.
Yes, and after a little bit, Easy does go, we're going into the swamp.
Yes, we are. That is the place that is most important to me, and that's where this must be done.
He curses under his breath, and you see him hauling the robes up even higher. And
Dr. Easy, I will show you something that I think you'll be pleased to see. Perhaps that will make up for this.
I'm pleased to see it.
Considering it's me saying this, I'd like to imagine that frightens him more than anything else.
Yeah, well, he's the thing is, he is kind of like really, really wants to see this god stuff. So it's like I'm eager to see it. I am. I just, I suppose if it's easy, there's no point in it. And he hauls the robe up even higher, and you see that he's wearing kind of a pair of shorts underneath it as he's trudging along, and he takes off his shoes and sticks them in the basket with all the food that he's carrying. And
mental note: make some ointment for Easy to put on his legs.
Yeah, he's kind of stumbling along. He's that's the thing. Beatrix is actually going at a decent speed. Probably not as easy as you are, because you're used to this situation. But that and your journeying word does actually keep people from being too encumbered by this kind of thing. So you're making decent speed. It is just, Easy is basically thigh deep in muck. For some of this.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Beatrix is sloughing through, with the ease of someone who has had to shovel pig manure, in the more difficult months.
Excellent. Clearly, I've picked the right person.
Mm-hmm. Unlike Easy, she's going without any kind of worry or stress, just straight on through.
So as we walk, I'll glance at her a few times, and one of the things that I have seen these past few weeks, it's been like 12 days or something?
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, about 12
14,
days.
something like that.
Yeah.
One
But
of the things I've seen these past few weeks is the importance of knowing the stories of where you've come from as much as making the stories of where you're going. It's something I am trying to instill on those who will follow us. You seemed to recognize my name, or the name I have, I might share with someone else. I'd like you to tell me why.
and she's frowns a little. It seemed familiar. Are you saying it's from a story?
It might be. One thing I should share with you as we go forward is there is much I don't remember from the time before.
Oh, oh, my dear, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's troublesome, but I'm confident that it won't stop us from going forward. Still, if you can share something with me that might make me recall something, I'd be happy for you to do so.
Do you remember what the story was called, or do you know? Do you know of it?
I've heard there is a story of a Kerah of the North.
And she pauses for a moment and seems to stroke her chin and is like, "Oh, I do remember something. Yes, yes, it was one of the few stories that from before the war. I I was a younger girl back then, but I listened to the stories of all these people who were going to come and save us, and there was people from the east and the west, and none from the south, unfortunately. But Care of the North, she was one of them. They, oh, I'm sorry, it's an old story. I remember they came to the capital on the king's request. They came to try and save us, but then the capital was destroyed. And
To my memory, so far, this is matching point for point what the bard said.
yes, yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. And she's strokes her hair back a little bit, and you see she's given herself a bit of a black smear through her hair from the swamp that has managed to get on her fingers. But she nods a bit. Are you saying that you're one of those people? That you're Kerah from the north?
I don't know anything for certain, but it's possible. And if that is the truth, then I have a chance to make things right again. And if not, it's worth trying anyway.
Whether it's you or not, you will have the chance to bring us out from this terrible place that we are at the moment. And whether it's because you are Kerah from the north or because you are Kerah yourself here, the goddess who stands before me, then either way, it is still your own actions, your own abilities. Maybe you forgot.
We agree on this.
Maybe you forgot who you were before because it's unimportant. But
Kerah won't say anything about but we'll smile approvingly.
I do hope you find what happened to you, but know that it shouldn't change who you are now.
It won't. And as we move forward, it won't just be me and my companions who do these things. It will be you and others like you as well. We will do this together, and that is the difference.
She nods, and I'll do what I can. I really don't know much more than the growing vegetables. I have a lot to learn from you.
Growing vegetables is one of the noblest pursuits you could do. That's an excellent place to start. There are some who've lived in that city who no doubt wouldn't know the back end of a hoe from the front.
Easy says nothing.
Of course he doesn't.
Yeah, And she nods a little bit and continues pushing on through the swamp. It's like, we all have our specialties. There's things they know I won't.
Stop me if I'm incorrect. I'm also going to assume she's what is that? Is that masonry I see? In that, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and say she had a timber house.
Yeah, it's probably are some bricks in there, but it's more likely that the bricks are for stuff that's not really that's designed to stand up in certain situations, like side sheds, animal pens. Mostly that's what they made out of bricks. But yeah, she's got like thatch roof. Yeah, more than anything.
It does occur to me I should probably try not to go like full Don Quixote about masonry, because that's not going to lead anywhere good.
She definitely had a more. She had a smaller house. Definitely, it seemed mostly wood and weaving. Yeah.
And no stairs, which is always good.
Yes, no stairs at all.
Yes, so probably won't say a whole lot for the remainder of the journey then. Just if there are any, I'll point out interesting plants to her and what they can be used for. Whether good or ill, it's yes, this is good for bringing down fever, and this will give them a rash that they won't soon forget. Yeah, we use that on our siblings.
She'll listen with interest to anything that you point out. And in some cases, she might point out a few herself. You know them, of course. But, she... yes,
I won't happily encourage her, of course.
Yeah, she'll point out a few things. And sometimes you know them, but you weren't aware of some of the ways that they could be used. Mostly,
yes, good.
Yeah,
pick the right person.
It is that thing of like you can know the plants and you can know that some of them can stop bleeding and stuff like that. But when she tells you about how some of the walls from a house are like stuffed with a certain kind of moss because they it keeps the heat in the winter months, and in the summer months it tends to die off, so it gets cooler. She's more describing how people use it, while you know what plants are good for, kind of thing. Like, and some of the stuff kind of does bring back memories of when you were being taught by the shaman of similar things of the treating.
All of this is just galvanizing what this whole decision is. This human perspective is exactly what she thinks she needs.
So she so where do you stop?
I'm heading straight for my heart tree thing. I'm assuming because they're with me, they'll have no difficulty with navigation.
No, they'll be fine. They're keeping with you at your pace.
I'm assuming as well that this tree isn't so obvious and creepy as to just like have an audible heartbeat or anything. It probably just looks like a very old, very primal tree.
Yes, among other old primal trees. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's
in a particularly dense thicket.
It may be slightly bigger than the others, like something a little bit different, but it's not like. That's the thing. They look at it.
Let's say it looks considerably older than any other tree in the area, and indeed looks older than it could be.
And they kind of pull up, and because of the amount of trees, the ground here is actually more solid. So Easy can drop his robes again as he looks over the area. He's like, "This is a good spot."
And this is where I've placed what remains of my mortality. And she'll point at the tree.
There's a small moment of hesitation from the both of them, and and Beatrix kind of tentatively holds a hand out towards the tree, but doesn't.
Oh yeah, Kerah nods approvingly. Yeah. Place your hand on it.
She places a hand on one of the more withered knots and kind of strokes the tree carefully. He's like, it's a mighty fine one. It's growing well.
Yes, and it will continue to do so. And should I fall, it will lead to me growing strong again.
Easy kind of opens his mouth as if, I've heard of this, and then like closes it before he starts ranting, and especially because from what he's aware of, this is basically you showing both of them your weakness.
Yes,
Because
it
yeah.
is, which I'm acutely aware of, and I fully intend to eat easy should anything happen.
But yeah, he kind of grasps that and realizes exactly what situation he's in. Though it does seem that because of her lack of knowledge of the gods, Beatrix isn't entirely going that. So, yeah, it's beautiful. Really, I've never seen an older tree.
Kneel upon the ground.
She nods slightly and moves to kneel on the ground.
So Kerah will go about the motions of basically shoving her hands into the living earth enough to get her hands well coated as much as she can with the earth around here. And as she does so, she'll speak to Beatrix. On this journey here, you've had time to think about what you will be needed to do and the blessing you'll receive from me in turn. Have you changed your mind about this? Or will you stay on this path?
You notice that she's actually leaning her head against the tree ever so slightly.
This
And
is fine. This is good.
yeah, she's kneeling there, and she's just says quietly, I've thought about it, and if I wanted an easy life, I wouldn't be a farmer. I'm here to raise crops and do what I need to. I'm with you.
Kerah will approach her with these mud-encrusted hands and slowly daub her symbol on Beatrix's forehead, pushing back her hair to do so. I don't have any representation to show you, but it's basically a crescent, which would basically represent a head, and 3 dots forming a loose line to indicate an antler on each side. Something simple, something that gets the point across.
So, like
as she does
a crescent.
I might just
just draw it out on the thing. So, with 3 dots on each side.
So basically, something like this. If outwards, not inwards, but yes.
Yeah.
How the hell is it defaulted to purple? I can't see what I'm doing.
It does default to purple. But you can change the color on the thing. So.
Yeah. I just didn't realize. Bizarre. Just defaulted to purple.
It's like a crescent with 3 dots.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Looks like an upset spider.
And as she... A little bit, yeah. Yes, and as she does so, I will bless and empower you to learn about the land and love it and live with it, and to teach others to do so, and to defend this land when you need to, as mercilessly and bloodily as you're required to. Your first priority should be the care of the land, and this is what I will teach you to do.
She nods slowly. I will follow your guidance.
Excellent. Then, when you're ready, rise. That's as much ceremony as Kerah is willing to engage in. She ain't big on ritual.
She takes a moment and she returns to press her forehead against the tree again. And as you see where she placed her forehead, she's left the mark of your symbol against the tree in the mud.
Excellent. I'm also going to say probably one of the benefits of giving her the blessing here is she can probably feel and hear the heartbeat now.
And so, yeah, she definitely... it seems to the area which she left the mark seems to not glow, but shimmer ever so slightly with the heartbeat, and before the mark itself fades into the tree. And she stands up and gives a little smile.
And as a gift to you, I give you your choice of the properties around here. I know that there aren't that many things here, but basically she's giving her free reign to take one of the decrepit old swamp huts for herself. A true gift in these trying times.
She nods slightly and says, I'll see what I can do with it. I may pick one close to here so I can tend your tree.
That is appropriate. I feel I've picked the right person for this. The first and foremost of those who follow the way with me.
I'll do my best.
When we have less pressing concerns to distract us, I will begin showing you how to use the land.
And she nods slightly and says, yes, the news has reached even me of this trial that you're going to do.
Yes, it's very soon. You are welcome to attend. In fact, I would encourage you to. But I won't force that upon you either. Though it's your presence, or if not yours, one of the other farmers, or some of them, so that you can give your grievances against the church and what they've done for all to hear.
She nods slightly. He's like, I'm not too sure we'd have much more to say than anyone else. But I'll be there.
Your input is just as valuable as everyone else's, and never let anyone tell you otherwise.
I'll be there. You can count on me.
Good. Then you are free to stay here and do as you please, or I can escort you back to your farm. What do you wish to do?
Could I do something very quickly with you here?
Kerah nods.
And she nods and takes the sticks from the back, from her back, and because she's been carrying them all this way, and you can see as she's pulling them around that they're very reed-like, like quite flexible as young reeds that she's gotten. She nods slightly. I wasn't quite sure what to expect, so I thought you'll see. And she kind of sits down at the base of the tree and rests her head against it for a second, and you can see her listening to the heartbeat. And then her hands start to move, and she's weaving.
Interesting.
Yeah, so she's weaving together a little, in front of your eyes, all these little strands, and she's going at quite the speed, actually. Like, you do wonder if maybe this is like something that she's like that is being granted to her by your blessing, even if it's like a minor thing. She's creating this basket that she's putting together with at quite an incredible speed, and just creating it. I'm not sure what to make really. What someone like yourself could use, but I only know how to make a few things, I suppose. And she's putting together this. It's like, one of those. It's a basket, but it's a very deep kind of pot, like a kind of basket.
I'm basically imagining a kind of wicker papoose, for want of a better term.
I'm going to look up the papoose. Yes, similar kind of. Yeah, it's deep and not exceptionally wide, but it's it's enough that you can carry it on your shoulders, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, that might actually even prove handy. I mean, you never know. You just sort of pointed out there with easy, no pocket space. I suddenly thought, shit, neither do I. What if I need to carry something sometime?
So she's just weaving this together at quite the exceptional speed, and Easy kind of comes up to you and says very quietly in your ear, like, I saw something like this before with the sword. It's
She's basically looking down on Beatrix, smiling approvingly, clearly, probably the happiest she's been since anyone's known her.
And so Beatrix kind of it weaves along until like it probably takes about an hour until it passes, and she eventually just like wipes her brow of sweat and stands up and offers you this this papoose that she's put together, shoulder slung, rather deep, not exceptionally wide. It's made out of wicker and a little bit of mud that's kind of gotten in there. That's holding it together a little bit. Much like woad does. That's so yeah. It's she's holding it out. It's like, please, it's not much, but it's something.
It's a lot more than not much. It's a mark of great craftsmanship, that I can see, she says as she puts it on.
You can hear something the moment that you touch it and start putting it on.
Kerah will listen carefully, put her ear up to it.
It sounds
Put
like
it up to her ear, either.
yeah. It sounds like grain being poured.
Oh, interesting. So she's going to upend it.
A great collection of seeds suddenly pour from the inside. Like a huge collection, all different kinds, just pouring right onto the floor.
Do they look valuable?
Oh yes, they all look quite. They're not exactly sprouting at your feet, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Actually, considering
give her
considering the fertility word, what's the fertility word like bonus?
Oh god, hang on. I think I've got it here somewhere. On my
it's you're immune to you're immune to wooden stuff. Okay, so you
perfect control. Yeah.
So they're not exactly sprouting at your feet.
Invincible defense against wooden, vegetable monsters and plant-based toxins. Yeah.
So
I think it would be more appropriate if they're not just sprouting immediately anyway.
Yes, they're not sprouting immediately, but you can... It's almost like you can sense that these are all fertile seeds.
Yeah. I mean, even in that, the blessing I gave to the land, I believe I made it a stipulation that it still has to be tended to work.
Yeah.
So I guess we're just carrying on with the theme there.
Yeah.
So she'll give Beatrix a big grin and say, if there's anywhere you think you could start up more plants, please, you're very welcome to.
I didn't mean it to do that, she says, kind of taking a little bit of a step back and looking at the pile of seeds. And that's the thing, as you hold it, like if you hold it upended for a while, the seeds just continuously pour free.
So she'll smile and say, well, one of the things I have control and power over is the ability of life to flourish even in the most dry of soils. We'll get to the other stuff later.
She nods slightly and reaches down and takes a handful of the seeds up, and then starts kind of scattering them ever so slightly around, around the place, and almost mindlessly, kind of, as if her brain went, seeds should not be in a pile, and just them out into the area. So I'm sorry, well, it's quite the gift you have there.
Now it's a gift that you have too. And this as well is an important act. They damage the land, and as we work, we will repair it, one piece at a time.
She nods slightly and yes, we'll repair it. And kind of Easy has gotten one of the seeds, and he's kind of studying it quietly in a corner. Well, and as a corner as much as he can in a grove, and she kind of pauses and looks up like, we should head back now.
Yes, of course. And I give you my blessing to come and go from the swamp as you wish. I'm assuming I can put a stipulation that she can come and go whenever she wants.
Oh yes, yeah, it was ally related, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Naughty Gets confused or something like that. I can't remember exactly what I said.
Yep. So yeah, she now has free passage in and out.
Good. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, that's pretty much all I had in mind to do.
Okie doke. Yeah.
And I guess this counts as an artifact now, does it?
Yes, it does. But it's not a major artifact, so I don't think you'd have to bind for it. It just has a continual effect of.
Can I pour Dominion into it later to make it into a thing of goodness?
Yeah, you could if you wanted to put some extra stuff in.
I'll have to think about what exactly I want to do, but I said papoose. Maybe I can make it fire babies eventually. I don't know.
just it's a literal bird shot cannon, just a seed. But you will notice that as you're heading back, Beatrix seems to be kind of fiddling with her hair a bit more than usual as she's heading back.
Is something wrong?
Oh no, it's she's rubbing her head a little at the both sides, oh
no.
ever so slightly, she's just itching her head a little bit there, and but you can't see anything.
Yeah, there's nothing I can say to make it easier. She can make her own mind up about whether she likes it or not.
Okie doke. So, are we going to leave it there?
The best thing she can say is, you can take them off. It won't be fun, but you can take them off.
So, is that it, or did you want to do anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much it. That's the only thing I really had in mind to do. I did want to go and antagonize Buckler some more, but that can wait for next time.
Yes, that's something that you can do with a group of people.
That'll be a pre-trial thing, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There's something I wanted to ask him, but I can't remember now exactly.
Okie doke. Well, I'll shut off the recording here then, unless there's anything else you want to say.
Okay. No, that's it.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.